Hello and welcome to a new episode of Cultural Magazine, where we always bring you all the news and updates of what's happening culturally here in Egypt. We have a very versatile and interesting episode today, but before we get into the details of what's going on, let's take a brief look at the news headlines. Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Sheikh Ahmed Al-Tayyib, was named Cultural Personality of the Year by the Sheikh Zayed Book Awards. He won this award category for his role in adopting the moderate path and encouraging a culture of tolerance, dialogue, and protection of the civil society. A number of American artists are participating in Egypt's first digital art festival known as DigiVest. It started March 27th and ongoing until April 10th. The Embassy of Sweden in Cairo celebrates a newly published photography book by the photographer Mia Grandal. The book is a collection entitled The Revolution's Graffiti. Black, White, and Gray, a photographic experience. In this art gallery, about 30 photographs from all centuries ever since the 19th century are presented here in order to give a glimpse back into history about photography and how it started out, and also to give audience and viewers and students an experience into history of photography and black and white. We're pleased to be joined by Ola Saif, who is a curator of the photographic collection here at the American University in Cairo. Good evening. How are you? And of course, you said that here in this exhibition you are participating, or I mean, you have participated from the photographic collection with 5 pieces of photographs. If you can talk to us about how you take care of these photographs and make sure that they are maintained, their quality is maintained throughout the years, and how old are they?
They're all from the 19th century. Most of them are by a photographer called Lekejian. He was Armenian. And we're lucky to have many of his photographs. Now, back to your question of how do we take care of them. Well, basically, the most important ingredient is that we keep them in a climate-controlled environment all the time. So it's very cold, 18 degrees and 50 degrees of relative humidity. But we also always keep them in mylar sheets, very thin, transparent sheets of a material equipped especially to maintain them. First, it protects them from scratches while we put them on top of each other, but also it keeps them in a more controlled environment. And then we check on them all the time. We digitize them so that we give access to the students without touching the physical. Then we inventory our photographs and our boxes all the time.
How do you think that these 5 photographs being here in this exhibition, how does it add to the quality of this exhibition, especially because the theme is black, white, and gray, and some of these photographs, you said they're from the 19th century, so how does it add to the viewer's experience?
From a technical point of view, those have changed from gray to sepia, which shows an aging process. But from a subject point of view, from a content point of view, they're almost the only ones from Egypt. So we're showing an entirely new dimension of a look onto Egypt at the time.
And you've said that they've changed from black and white to sepia because of I mean, the certain age quality of the pictures. If you can tell us why that happens, and I mean, is it going to be maintained at this color now, or is it going to change?
That's why we all.
Some of the art
No, it's the technique itself. They're all done on paper called albumin, which is based on egg yolk, and if it's not preserved properly, it keeps changing from black and white into sepia, into even more sepia. The level of brown increases. So that's why we want to keep them in this climate-controlled environment to slow down, if not freeze, the graying process.
Talk to me a little bit about.
I think the title is chosen to convey the contrasts, whereas these are sepia, not gray.
It still adds a lot to this exhibition, and I wanted to ask you about the photographic collection that you take care of here at the AUC. If you can just give us a little glimpse of what this photographic collection entails, how many pictures and how many photographs you have there, and how old are they?
Well, how old is really from the 1870s, 1880s. Very few from the 1860s, which is the collection of Francis Frith, one of the first British photographers who came to Egypt, and his photographs are basically in albums. We don't have single pieces by him, and we have the entire series of albums that he published. That's the earliest we have. Then afterwards, a number of photographers from the 80s, a few from the 1860s and 70s by a French photographer called Arnoux, who has photographed the Suez Canal inauguration and opening. And then afterwards, the number of photographs, the sequence of photographs is unlimited up till last year or yesterday. But then these are, they cover a big variety of topics, if not every single topic that you can think of. So starting from architecture, for instance, the photographic collections of Hassan Fathi, the architect who has documented and built in Egypt in the style of domes and vaults and introduced different materials in his construction. Then the photographic collection of Creswell. We're very, very lucky to have this one because its parallel is in the Ashmolean Museum in the UK. It's a very, very special collection because he's the founder of the Islamic art and architecture discipline and study. Very privileged to have his collection because it's not only about Egypt. Half of it is about Egypt, and the other half is about the Islamic world. So starting from Iran to Morocco, the entire scope of the Islamic world is in his photographs, and that's as many as 13,000 photographs, take or leave, of course. Then we have a number of artistic contributors to our collections, which are, for instance, I can name to you Van Leo. He's an Armenian photographer. We've had an exhibit about him here in this gallery last year. He's an Armenian photographer who has focused on portraits. So we like to put next to his name a portraitist. And he has excelled at experimenting. So
a very wide variety, versatile photographs.
Exactly. So our students and outside researchers from worldwide come to us asking for sometimes fashion. We find photographs for them, architecture, urbanism, ads in the streets, car styles, name it. Whatever they're interested in, we're always capable of catering to them from our collections.
I really like the concept of having the photographs black and white because that way it gives them more meaning and more value. What is more interesting is that you cannot really understand everything because you don't really see the colors. The colors do not speak to you. But the mystery of the black and white makes the thing like you want to know more. And so it makes you keep questioning. What is this about? I mean, where are these people? Why are they wearing this clothes? What would it look like if it's colored? The fact that it misses the color makes your kind of creative mind work a little more. So it makes you even like think more towards the pictures, towards where they come from, how they're here, who are these people. All these questions you kind of tend to ask yourself, and then you start wondering, how did this come about? So that kind of theme, I kind of enjoyed it.
Can you talk to me about your favorite two photographs that you would chose, the one with the Bedouin girl and the Palestinian woman. If you can, tell me why you thought these were more interesting to you than the other photographs.
Okay, I'll start with the Bedouin girl. I thought she was very interesting because first of all, I cannot see her full face. I can see only half of her face when I'm standing from this distance. But if I get a little bit closer, I can see a little more of her face. From what I see, like from when I'm standing over here, her face looks straight. It doesn't look like anything. It looks very straight. But when I get a little closer to it, I see the glimpse of a smile and I'm like, wow, how can a picture be so tricky? Actually, I kept going back and forth on that picture and thinking, why does she look like she has a glimpse of a smile from closer and she doesn't from far? I think it also has to do with the lighting in the place. The other thing also, her outfit is very authentic and cultural. I love it.
I was just going to comment on that. It looks, even though it's black and white, you can still look at the intricate details and it looks amazing.
Yeah, you can see through it. You can feel culture. You can feel it jumping out at you. And her choice of sitting, position. I mean, to be honest, this picture is so marvelous. It carries so much meaning. And on the other hand, the Palestinian girl, okay, one more thing about that girl. She's looking at you. She's so looking at you. It's like she's definitely talking to you. And the other girl, on the other hand, she's like looking away from you, which really, really, really makes you even more curious. Why? What is she looking at? This is your first question. What is this woman looking at? And then the way she's dressed in her very authentic dress and everything, and her stand and posture, she looks elegant, very elegant. Although you can see like some dirt on her dress, but yet, yeah, but her elegant look just covers up everything and leaves her kidda standing in front of you, and you're like, wow, why that woman is so elegant, and what is she looking at? You keep wondering. And the wall behind her, everything is just lovely.
And they're both beautiful in very different ways.
Exactly. Both